This is my bottom piece for the Mendel X carriage, and I'm going to show you how to put in these screws right now. If you go to the wiki, they'll tell you how to do it, but not really step by step. You have a M4 by 40 millimeter screw, and this tool, it's like a hex screwdriver. It's 3 millimeter. I don't know where you get these. My supplier included this, so not really sure where you would get one. Now what you do is I got all my washers, and I got my nylock bolts and regular bolts. You slip one washer. Everything's got to have a washer on it. So you do a washer. I don't know if you can see this, but what happens is the bolt kind of goes in diagonally, and the washer helps it sit on there. The washer is flush against the carriage, and you got to do 4 of these. So washer, bolt, washer, bearing, 624 bearing. And do 5 washers for height, I presume. And then I'm going to use a nylock M4. These are really tough to get on. So what I've found is that you get it on, finger tighten it, and it doesn't finger tighten very far. I got a 9/32 socket wrench and this hex screwdriver. You plug this in until it almost snaps. It doesn't make a noise, but it kind of snaps in there. You get your 9/32 on the other side, and you just crank. You crank this all the way down. I got a little piece of fuzz in there. And you crank this down until the part stops spinning, really. Now my hex set, I can't get it all the way down because, or my ratchet set, the socket isn't long enough, so I'm going to show you what you do. Once you get it most of the way down, you just grab it with a pair of needle nose. You grab the nylock with needle nose and keep doing this. Now if you don't have nylocks, get the bolt really far down, get the nut, the M4 nut really far down, drop a thread lock. You really want these tight because this is going to absorb so much of the motion. What happens is one of the rods comes straight down this channel in between these rollers, so it gets a lot of, these get a lot of movement, so you really want them tight. You don't want these to loosen up at all. I mean, you don't want to over tighten them, but you want to use the thread lock or the nylock bolts so they stay in place. And this part is difficult. Oops. As soon as the part stops swinging, you got it on tight enough. Oops, that's not tight enough. And the bearing should turn smoothly. And then one more, just like you need 4 of these. And again, it's washer, bearing, 5 washers, nylock or thread lock bolt, nut. This is step 2 of the bottom side of the X-axis carriage. This step is pretty simple, but it's not explicitly explained on the wiki. We just install 2 bearings in these front holes after you do these 4 bearings with the 5 washers. So what the difficult part is that you got to get these hidden nuts. I don't know if you can see this. There's a nut, there's a hex-shaped indentation in this part, and you drop the nut in there and slide the screw in. Now, since the hole is shaped for the nut, I'm not going to use a nylock. Wiki doesn't explicitly say whether or not to use one, so I'm going to save mine. I'm going to use a regular nut at regular M4. And the way you prepare these short M4, I think they're 25 millimeters. Everything you do, washer, bearing, washer, washer, bearing, washer. So you prep this screw, and this is probably the easiest way to get it. And then you take your nut, and what you want to do is slide the screw in to the hole, and then, ooh, there's not much play on this side. Try to get 1 or 2 turns in on the nut, and then it'll fall back into the hole, and then you can tighten it by hand, and just a little tighten with your screwdriver here. Not too much. Once those 2 are done, that's step 2 on the bottom part of the X carriage. Next part is the top part of the X carriage, X-axis carriage. This is step 1 of the top part of the X-axis carriage. It's simple. It's just like the last, the second step in the bottom part. It's your M4 25 millimeter screw, washer, bearing, washer. And then the hidden nut, or the captive nut. And you need to do this 4 times, 1 on each of these, just the straight, I guess you would say, or the corners of the outside long pieces. What this does is it then sits on here, and when you have 2 rollers here and when you get your 2 here and your 2 here, it creates a channel for the rod. And the same thing on this side. It's once you get your bearings, you'll understand it all makes sense. So we'll do 1 regular nut inside. Well, put the screw in. Want your nut. Try to slide it on and get a turn or 2, and then it'll fall right back into the hole. If you try to do it the other way, it tends to pop out, or it slides in sideways, and you got to get it out. This is the easiest way that I've seen, is screw first, then get the nut in, and let's give a little tighten up at the end. And again, I'm not using nylock M4 nuts because they're in a hexagonal shaped hole, so probably not a whole lot of wiggle room. Let's do 1 more. If you haven't figured it out by now, everything is washer, bearing, washer. Regular nut. See if you can see. Oh yeah, if you try to put it in the hole first, I don't know if you can see that. It kind of goes in sideways. You take your screwdriver, you try to lay it in there, and to me it just takes too much time. It never sits in there right. Hold it in place. Just drag it over with your thumb. A couple turns and it falls right in the hole. Nice and easy. Do that 2 more times and you're done with your first step of the top part of the X-axis carriage.